Technology is amazing, Nancy, and we're going to talk today about the untechnological part of our life,
Okay.
part of our brain, the us that says yes, but we should be saying no.
No.
I've got certified life coach Nancy Bowens in the studio with me here today, and I'm honored to have you, Nancy. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, Nancy, you are a very phenomenal person. You've got a ultra great blog that you do, and you are a certified life coach, and you have intentional life for me, intentional life.me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go to her website, you can go ahead and go to her website before we get started. But I was thumbing through her blog one day, and oh my gosh, if she did not have the information that spoke to my soul, and I said, I gotta have this lady on.
Awesome.
Because this information is so powerful. 7 simple ways to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy, I just figured we'd bring you in, and then you can tell us and talk to us about, why it's okay to say no,
Mm-hmm.
how you can say no, and just what does that all mean anyway? So thank you for joining us today on Radio for Divas.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and have an opportunity just to share, because absolutely we say yes when we want to say no, and say no when we want to say yes. And I think that's when I wrote the post. That was speaking from personal experience, because I have a tendency, because I want to make everybody happy, I want to help people, so yes seems to be the right thing to say.
We get ourselves in trouble with that, don't we, Nancy?
Absolutely, absolutely, because then you have so much on your plate, you're juggling plates, never really doing what is your passion, what you really want to do. You're stuck doing things that other people expect you to do, and not really where your best space is, and you're not bringing your best self to the table, and you're really not accomplishing what you hope to accomplish.
Now, you sound like a life coach right there about what we want to accomplish. And
Sure.
let's back up just for a second to
Okay.
talk about that, because as a life coach, what you do is you help people to realize certain things that they feel, certain direction that they need to go in their life, and you do that quite successfully. So if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that? And then we'll go back to the no. Let me tell you, because you probably need a life coach in your life, and I'm telling you, it's not something that you should look at as an expense. I'm sure she's not free, by any stretch of imagination, because it's her time. So what Nancy does is she takes all of her experience, she's certified and she's trained, and she brings that to the table for your benefit. So don't look at it as an expense. Look at it as an investment. Invest in yourself, okay? So let's back up. How can they get in contact with you, and how can they find out more about who you are so that they can feel the warm fuzzies like I do?
Okay. My website is intentionallife.me, and you can email me directly if you'd like. You're welcome to do that at nancy@intentionallife.me.
Okay.
And either way, it's a great place. There's the blog has all kinds of different posts. There's also information about life coaching if you've always wondered about it and never been sure if that's something that's going to work for you. It absolutely is an investment. So,
And you're worth it.
and a lot of people think that they can't afford it, but in a lot of times you have to stop and think, can I not afford it? Especially if you're at a transition in your life, it's a key place. And I don't know about you, but pretty much all of us are at transition at some point in time. So
Right, absolutely.
if you aren't there today, you will be there tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'd love to hear from you. And the initial contact, we can talk about how that works, but it's there's a program for every budget and every place in your life. So yeah.
Okay. Well, this young lady, Nancy Bowens, is going to bring us information today. As I started saying before, I had to backtrack because I don't want you guys to miss out on connecting with Nancy. But I wanted to talk about this no, why it's okay to say no. And Nancy wrote the perfect blog on this. So Nancy, just take it away, because I'll keep going on otherwise.
Thanks, Monica. I appreciate it. So how often do we say no when we really mean to say yes? You get an opportunity, and Monica, I know you're a super busy person, excuse me. You serve on school boards, you're part of the community, you have a radio show, you're an inspirational speaker, you do probably more things than I can even count. That's our girl.
I just smile.
Yeah, just smile. Looking beautiful. But it's but how many opportunities come your way that you would like to do, but perhaps you can't because you've got other things on your plate.
Right.
And maybe it's not even a professional situation, it might be a family thing. Maybe you have a relative who continually wants, or because you have an expertise in something, they think that it's something that you can just do for them. Or maybe it's a friend who is sucking the life out of you every time that you meet with her, but yet you love her, but yet you have to draw those boundaries. Sometimes saying no is not just saying the word no, it's putting those boundaries in place that keeps you safe and puts you in a position where you're able to be your best self. And sometimes the best way to do that is simply saying no. But there's a lot of different ways to say no.
Okay. How are when you talk about these boundaries, as kids we had boundaries, we had rules, and they keep us safe.
Right.
And when you are so out of control because you're telling everybody in your world yes when you really mean no, you start to create problems for yourself.
Yes.
And tell us why it's so hard for us to say no. We know it's not right for us.
Right. I think we want to, especially as women, not always, but we want to please people. We're nurturers, we're caretakers, we care about the people in our lives, we love passionately, and we truly do want to make a difference. We truly want to do the right thing, and we feel like, well, yes, I can do that, and yes, I can do that one more thing, and yes, oh, I can fit that in, or sure, and then there's a crisis, and you feel like everybody's crisis becomes yours, and perhaps you feel like you're the only one who can fix that or change that. But it's all about creating those boundaries. It's like when you have a child and they have a playground and it's fenced off and there's boundaries. They feel safe because they know how far they can go. If you take away those boundaries, the kids will play in the middle of the playground because they don't know where they can go. They don't know what the safety part is. And as women, as people who are engaging in our world, if we are not careful, the yeses will become yeses, and pretty soon there's no room for what we really are designed and called to be and to do.
Okay. So when we talk about why it's so hard to say no, those are many reasons we just don't want to hurt people's feelings, as you said.
You want to help. You don't want to be rude.
Okay.
You don't like conflict.
Ouch.
Yeah.
This is for those passive aggressive people.
Right, the people pleasers. You don't want to miss out. What do they say? Fear of missing out, FMA, fear of missing out, whatever that is, that little acronym. But we fear that we're going to miss out. Well, maybe it's an opportunity, maybe it's something good, maybe I'll wish I had done it. Maybe the opportunity will never come again. So we fear that we're going to miss out. And then I think sometimes we're afraid of rejection.
Oh, that's another show.
We're not going to be liked.
That's another show. It's Pam coming in. That is definitely another show. Afraid of rejection. So if we say no, does that mean that we're being rude or disagreeable?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We just think that we are because we're worried about how other people are perceiving us and how are we coming across. And sometimes I think we feel like that's where we get our value, is in what we're doing for other people.
Okay.
And so that whole happening of, we're afraid that if we just say no, it isn't just about valuing, it needs to be more about valuing your time and your priorities, and it's being more intentional about the way that you live your life.
I love what you say on here. You say, when you say no, you are saying a bigger yes to something else.
Yeah.
And I want you to go on to this blog right now. It's intentionallife.me, and it's with Nancy Bowen. And she goes into the 7 simple ways to say no. And this is good stuff, Nancy.
I had fun thinking about this. I really had fun thinking about it because I'm preaching to the choir, as they say. So sometimes we can say no just by saying, you know what, I've got a couple things going on right now and I just can't give you the attention you deserve.
Oh, so we put it back on the person, like we want to help them,
right?
We're not able to give them our best, so they shouldn't accept less.
But be careful with that one, because You want to reply with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be vague, because otherwise they're going to turn it around and say, oh, well, okay, but no, I really want you. So you need to be firm, but you need to be honest about what you're saying.
Okay.
So, and then you can also say, now is not a good time. I'm in the middle of something. Can we try again? But again, that integrity piece is there, because if you truly don't want to do that,
Yes.
don't use that one.
Okay.
That would be a bad one.
Right.
Because they're going to come back around and say, oh, let's try again.
Because you left the door open.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Okay.
only do that if you really are wanting to, if that truly is. I mean, these all need to be done with integrity.
Okay, that's
Because
right.
you're not all about trying to just make an excuse. Make your yeses be yes and your nos be no.
Absolutely.
But there's a way to say it and still give honor to the person and their situation and their ask.
And respect to yourself, too.
Absolutely.
And then, think about that. You don't want to keep telling people something that is not true, because that will come back on you. Like you said, follow that way of integrity.
Absolutely. Always operate in integrity, because you want to keep that foundation strong. I mean, you can also say to somebody, I would love to help, but. And this is a great one, because you want to keep that in your toolbox. If you want to, keep encouraging the one to keep, you want them to ask you again. And again, that's that whole integrity thing, because sometimes it isn't just, no, I don't ever want to do that, because truly it might be an opportunity or an event that you want to be a part of, or you want to have an opportunity to help somebody, but it's not just about saying no. So I'd love to help, but. Okay. And then there might be an opportunity to say, let me think about it and get back to you.
Oh my gosh, that's probably the one we need to take the most time with.
Okay.
Because time is so important, and if you always say yes immediately, or they expect you to say yes immediately, you haven't had that time to think about it.
Right.
So let me get back to you is perfect, because it gives you the time that you need to kind of weed it and flesh it out.
Yes, exactly.
It's a good one.
And even as a parent, your kids are like, mom, 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 mom. If I always told my kids, if you need to have a yes right now, the answer is going to be no.
Okay.
Don't push me. Don't push me. Because
Absolutely.
I've got to think about it. If you need an answer right away, and even, and a lot of times, if you're volunteering for something, or maybe it might be an opportunity where it might even be your boss, you're teaching those people around you to respect your boundaries.
Oh, okay, so you can teach people how to treat you.
You can.
I like that.
It doesn't always happen quickly, but you
Right.
can teach them. But it's, let me think about it. Let me get back to you. And it's more, when you say that, it's more of a maybe, because you're leaving that door open, because it's something that you are so willing to explore.
Okay. I love this. And please, if you want to know more, or you want to learn more about the 7 ways that you can tell people no, then you're going to go to intentionallife.me, and there's probably just a few pages, and Nancy is a great writer. There's all kinds of great information that you can find out from her. But guess what? You can also give her a call. She's a certified life coach, and I'm sure that she'll be happy to take your call or email you back. So, Nancy, thank you for joining us on Radio for Divas. We hope to have you again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's been a great joy. Thanks so much, Monica.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we're going to keep bringing you great information. Radio for Divas, to educate, empower, and entertain, especially you women in business. We'll be right back.